I will continue. We have about 5 more minutes, and I just wanted to share one more thing with you. I wanted to share with you how I became a volunteer at the South Plains Food Bank. Over 20 years ago, they had called and asked me to serve on the board, and my family has a business that's only a couple of blocks away from here, and I thought, well, now that'll be an easy thing to do. All I have to do is go once a month and go have lunch, and that'll be an easy thing to do. Well, I got to the first board meeting, and they said, well, we want every member to serve on a committee. So I looked at the list, and I thought, oh, you can share 1 week in December. I'll do that. That'll be easy. So I joined that committee, and then we met, and they said, well, we need for someone to take care of the school participation in the You Can Share Food Drive. So I thought, well, I can do that. My kids are in elementary, and I've been in PTA, and I kind of know the school system. I'll do that. That'll be easy. Well, then I got the notebook. And if you've ever had a job that you get a notebook, well, I thought, what in the world have I volunteered for? I didn't know there were all these schools, and it was area schools, and, had to set up choirs and get these barrels. Anyway, it was just this phenomenal job, and I thought, I can't do this. I just can't do this. And I went home that night, and I told my husband, I said, I've got this notebook, and there's no way I have enough time. I'm doing all these other things. I do not have time to do this. And he goes, Donna, just say no. You just have to say no. Just tell him you don't have time. You don't have to do this. And I said, I know, but I've just never turned down something, and I just can't believe I can't do this, but I just don't see how I can have enough time at all to do this. So I was really struggling with what I needed to do, and the next morning, my son called from school, went to Whiteside Elementary, and he called me and said, Mom, I forgot my homework. And so I was in a hurry, and I grabbed up his stuff and my stuff, and I headed to Whiteside Elementary, and I ran down the hall to the 3rd grade classroom, and when I passed the 2nd grade classrooms, I heard a noise. But I was too busy, and I just kept on going. So I get to his room, give him his homework, come back down the hall, and I heard it again. And it was coming from a room that the light was off. So I stopped, and I thought, something's going on in there, probably shouldn't be going on, and I reached in there and turned the light on. Well, when I turned the light on and looked for the noise, I looked to the back of the classroom, and there were all the lockers on the wall, and there in front of it was a little boy, and he was sitting there, and he had about 4 lunch boxes open, and he had food in both hands, and he was chewing just as fast as he could go. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he looked down at the food, and he just kept eating. So I didn't know what to do, so I just reached over and turned the light off. And I stood there a minute, and I thought, what do I do? And so I took off, ran down the hall to go to the principal, and I ran into Mr. Williams, and I said, Mr. Williams, I think there's a little boy down in the 2nd grade class areas that's stealing food. I said, I didn't know what to do, and he said, don't worry about it. You're going to work. I'll take care of it. You go on. Well, that little boy's face haunted me all day long. I kept thinking about that little face. And so the minute school was out, I went running back up to the school and went in. I said, okay, Mr. Williams, I said, I need to know about that little boy. What happened with that little boy this morning? And he said, I went down there and I caught him, and he was stealing food. But he said, Donna, I got to looking at him, and I started talking to him, and he said, I realized that kid was starving. He was so hungry. And he said, it gave me an excuse to call his parents. So I called his parents and had them come in and heard their story. And he said, they're new to Lubbock. And he said, they haven't secured jobs. And he said, they don't have any food. And everything that little boy eats is what he gets at school. And this was Monday morning. And he was hungry. And he said, but Donna, he said, I told him, he said, I was so glad they came in. I told him, I said, you don't have to go hungry in Lubbock. No one has to go hungry in Lubbock. We've got a food bank. Donna, do you know about the food bank? I said, yes, sir, I do. And he goes, it's the greatest thing Lubbock has. Nobody in Lubbock needs to go hungry. With our food bank, anyone can survive. And I was able to give them that information today, and I feel so good about that. Well, on that day, I saw the face of hunger for the first time in the face of that 2nd grader. And on that day, my priorities changed. And that's why, for the last 20 years, it's been very easy for me to be a volunteer here at the food bank, because I see the difference that it makes, but our job is not complete. And so that's why I continue and hope that some of you will want to be volunteers or want to help us in this mission to feed the hungry. Now, I want to thank you also for being here because if nothing else, you have given us something very valuable today. You've given us your time. And we know how valuable everyone's time is. And so we appreciate that. And we thank you for coming. Our time is up. You're free to go. And again, you'll be getting a phone call. And we want you to be sure and invite someone to come back with you or send them and we will greet them with open arms.